Hey guys, going to hit the same setup in many references, in many respects today as I did yesterday. Stirling brush, finest badger, CravingShaving handle. I like it nice, long, ergonomic handle. Super great for bowl lathering. I am going to squeeze the bristles, put it down into my lather, into my soaking cup. Make sure it gets nice and wet. It has tips that are a little crispy, slight gel-like aspect to those. So I like to give those a little bit more soaking than just a few minutes prior to the shave. The razor head, same as yesterday, slightly different handle. This is a T-BAM handle, titanium. And this is the WR2, and it is my recent trade. This is an 85 gap WR2. And it's a custom gap that I am really glad that I've gotten a hold of. I traded my 95 for it. 95 was great. I just wanted to try to get a little bit smoother. That's exactly what I got. Today, let's just have fun trying different blades in this razor. I've already tried the Gillette Silver Blue, a pretty young one. It did great. So today, let's try a very popular blade, the Astra Superior Platinum. This one has about 15 uses on it so far. And let's see, show you the rest of the gear. Again, repeat of this Stirling tub of R4L, which is Responders for Life, and it is the gray vetiver scent, very similar to the Tom Ford cologne of the same gray vetiver name. All right, so with the WR2, we've got these cool 4 posts right here that are excellent at keeping the blade oriented exactly. No blade adjustment or fiddling is needed. And there we go. And so I saw this gap yesterday, and it actually didn't look super mild. And I found out yesterday for the first use that it was very efficient, even while being very comfortable. I think about a 24-hour growth is what we're going to be dealing with. Hard water as usual here. And I weighed the soap right before today's use. It's still 223 grams. And so what I think was I probably yesterday used a little bit of the soap, but then I put in a little bit of moisture. So I'm guessing that's why there's not been much of a change. All right, I think I'm ready to go ahead and load up. Discovered the other day that this brush, knot right here, will hold 8.5 teaspoons of water, which I think is quite a bit. Shake most of the water out just like I did yesterday, and same loading, except yesterday I did 15 seconds of loading when I discovered that I had still 2 passes left over of nice creamy lather. So how about we just do 10 seconds today and see what happens. This is a dense brush with lots of bristles, and so it might be very good at picking up soap compared to other brushes. So it just depends on your brush. If you have a really stiff, scratchy brush, it's going to usually require less loading time than a super soft brush. And that's all there is to it right there. 10 seconds. Doesn't look like much on the brush. But let's try it out and see what happens. All we need is 3 good passes. I'm going to mix it for just a second here in the bowl. This is a Roger Quintero lather bowl, 3D printed. Brush rest right there, ridges in the middle there. I like it a lot. And if you have access to a 3D printer, you can, for free, go to the website mentioned in my description and download the files so you can print this guy. I think somebody said it took 29 hours to print. Pretty big item. already. We've got a decent amount of lather showing up. Yesterday with a 15-second load, 2.5 teaspoons of water was what I ended up adding to make the lather. So I'm going to go ahead and add another half teaspoon, because I believe Stirling is definitely one of the soaps, one of many, that you can add water in the beginning if you want to start out with lots of water. Then it won't drown the lather. There are a few soaps out there that you have to add it slowly, or it just doesn't work out for some reason. Gotta be a chemical property or something like that. I may find that I like the 15-second lather because it kind of gives me more margin to work with. But let's just try the 10 and see. Kind of got to keep lowering it until you don't have enough soap to do the job. And then you know how far not to go. All we're doing is we're taking that water that has been added, also the water that was in the brush, we're just making sure that all that has a chance to touch some soap, and then we're trying to mix it just where we don't have any wet spots, we don't have any thick spots, it's all the same. And I think we're pretty close. Look at that. So little soap on the brush to start out with. And we have this much lather. How about that? That looks pretty rigid actually. I mean, it's fairly smooth, you know, to the eye. I think I need to add just a little bit more water. Just a little bit more. So now we've got a full 2 teaspoons of water in here. So now we're just going to mix and make sure that water gets spread out as much as we can, and I'll bet we can shave with the result. Recently had a subscriber, Friendship Shaving, and I've been watching his I've watched his videos. I watched several, and I really like his demeanor. Just an easygoing guy. If you're into this for a meditative aspect, a relaxing type shave, you're not in it to get it done and get out. But then he is a great one to kind of keep that flow going. That's just kind of the attitude he takes in his presentation. Right now he's got some videos up for the, I think the Colonial Silversmith is a new stainless steel razor. He says it's kind of a mid-range aggression razor, so if you're interested in that one, never tried one, he's got some videos on it. I like CrvShv's as well. I like his videos a lot. And then another cut above is another one. All these guys are these, I think, UK guys. Isn't that funny? Some of my favorite guys out there are UK based, or at least their accents seem to put them in that location. Michael Friedberg's another one of my favorites as well, and he's in North Carolina like I am. Look at all this. I added that half a teaspoon, and that made a big difference in the lather. I think we're in good shape right there. Why don't we just use that? May actually be able to add a little bit more, but I'm going to stick with that. What I'm actually going to do, is A lot of times the first pass needs a little bit more water than the next passes. I'm gonna individually add a little bit of water to the brush on the first pass, but not in the bowl. All right, water on the face. But not in the goatee. And like I did yesterday, make sure I jam the brush down into the lather, because this density of this brush can work against you. And if you don't get the lather in the middle there, it can just start off feeling like a ball that you're just kind of rolling on all over your face. Yeah, we might be 10 seconds. Might be as far as we want to go. This lather looks terrific, but I'm going to go ahead and load up with a little bit more. And I'm kind of grinding on my face a little bit because I want to work this brush, put it through some tests, some stress, hopefully relax the density of the knot, cause it to open up so that I won't have to work it that hard anymore. Yeah, there we go. Look at all that lather. Nice. There we go. Sometimes I think with this, with the density of these types of brushes, I often have to go back to the lather to get more, because I'm guessing here, but because of the density, there's just not as much space between the bristles to carry the lather from the bowl to you. And so with that first batch I put on it, I needed more lather on the brush. And so after I had worked some of it in, I had to go back and get more. Your kind of average density brushes that have been around for so long don't have that problem, because they're able to hold more lather in them. Now for face lathers, this isn't as much of a problem, because they don't come at their face with the properly made lather in the first place. They come with concentrate, and then they add water. So this is not a beef you'll hear from them. This is kind of a revelation that is coming to me at this very shave, because I have had plenty of examples where these high density brushes, I had to go back to the lather, especially on the first pass, because that's really when I usually need a little bit more lather than usual. I guess I'm countering the oils on my skin in that first pass, since I don't do a pre-shave routine or much of one. All right, let's see how the Astra does in the WR2 Wolfman razor. Oh, that's nice. No tugging, and this is one that's older than a lot of people might normally use. So this is the 16th shave with it. Razor is gliding around, nice and easy. Just a consistent feel. I can feel the edge of the blade. On a newer razor, it might feel different, but this is definitely not rough by any means. And now, rinse. All right. Good. Thought I might have dried off my face again like I mistakenly did the other day. Looks like we're going to have plenty of lather to do the job here. And it looks like from the feel of the first pass, I nailed it on the consistency, on the viscosity, the water soap ratio. This is just perfect. It's really wet. It's not overly thick, but it's creamy. I get a nice luxurious feel when I rinse. It's giving me excellent slickness on my face. Stirling is just such a great product. And on Reddit, on the wet shaving subreddit, this Saturday is going to be, which is in 2 days, is going to be well, you're going to be viewing this on Friday, since I wait because I type up the description and stuff. You're going to be seeing it, so it would be tomorrow, this coming Saturday. Stirling, I believe it is going to be doing an AMA, Ask Me Anything, during the day on Saturday. So if you have any questions or anything like that, and you are a Reddit, contributor, you have a Reddit account, jump onto wet shaving subreddit and ask some questions, or just get on there and read the answers, because a lot of people ask great questions. And Stirling is really one of the top makers out there, in my opinion. And he's top, not because he's top tier. His stuff doesn't quite reach that far, but he's tops to me because of character of he and his wife and the company in general, the huge number of scents that he has. The quality of his soap is terrific. He's not focused like some of the top tier stuff right now, he's not focused quite as much on the post-shave products, the post-shave aspect of his soap. And so his soap is mostly soap. So you get a great value in the first place. But you add on top of that he charges less for his tubs of soap than a lot of other people do. Then you add on top of that again the fact that instead of giving you 4 ounces, he gives you almost 6. And it's crazy. Then you add on to that the value that he gives with his sample program. A lot of people give you samples that are those little white tubs for maybe 5 shaves if you're frugal, sometimes more, but wherein the disc that they send you with Stirling is enough for almost a month of shaves, and if you're skimpy, a month of shaves without a problem. And that's just for just a few dollars to be able to try out his scents and stuff. So terrific plan. I love it, highly recommend it. And so that's why he's just one of my favorite manufacturers out there. I have a good number of Stirling soaps, and if I had to narrow down my whole soap collection to only Stirling stuff because of some natural disaster or something like that, I wouldn't have a problem, and I would still enjoy shaving every day. And so it's very cool. I don't know if I'll come up with something cool to ask him or not, but I'm definitely going to be reading the page that day. As you can see, lather hasn't dissipated. Just because it may be a little translucent in spots doesn't mean that it's going to suffer in quality, because after all, we're talking about a tiny film of lather on your skin, partially bonded to your skin, so that it lubricates and lets that razor blade slide over your skin as close as possible while still cutting without damaging your skin any more than normal. So second pass, and see, this is slick. This is nutty slick. It doesn't look like it's much, really thin, but it is just super slick. My only beef with Stirling is that one of my favorite scents, sandalwood. They don't really have anything that is in my preference zone for sandalwood. They chose to go with a sweet sandalwood scent, very kind of soft, not very strong to my nose, And so one of my favorite genres, unfortunately, is not not represented in terms of my own preferences by my favorite scent in one of my favorite companies. So, but that's the way it goes. That's all right. They have several cologne-based scents that I'm just crazy for. Silver Mountain Water is a cologne, and they have Mountain Man that is inspired by that one. Rinse. All right, that's a good rinse. Now, third pass. And it looks like we are going to have just enough lather for the third pass and a touch-up if needed. And that's kind of the perfect amount of lather for me. Now, I believe that the 10-second load is enough because I used it yesterday. So there's a little bit of moisture still in the soap. Maybe at the end of this experiment, I will take another Stirling soap that hasn't been used in several months and try a 10-second load on it and see if it gives me this much lather. And this is a pretty wet lather. You might have seen earlier how some of it dripped off my razor onto my shirt. That's my preference, is to have a little bit of wetness. I usually like for it not to be that drippy, but this has given me tremendous performance. And if you're a straight razor shaver, usually you want a lather that's this wet, and maybe even a little wetter, because you need that performance. And Stirling is definitely going to be a soap that can give you that. I'm really happy to be able to tell, I believe his name's Rod, I'm pretty positive. I'll tell Rod on Saturday that I've been using his soaps all week. And I wonder if 2 weeks is going to be enough to be able to tell, to have a good sampling of data with how much soap I'm using per day. Well, I'm gonna weigh the soap before each shave. Eventually, I should start seeing it move down. So that's the third pass done. Let's rinse. Well, this Astra Platinum blade has given me a terrific shave. 1 or 2 hairs right here in my trouble spot. I see a little bit of length on, but that is just fine with me. Everywhere else, just near baby butt smooth on my cheeks here. Comfortable shave. Let's see how good my technique was, how scrapey the blade was on a microscopic level by hitting my face up with some alcohol-based post-shave. Let's do this guy right here. Game from Stubble Buster. Grumatorium is the parent company that does Tiki Bar soaps, as well as the awesome Chiseled Face soap brand as well. This is a inexpensive line for people coming into the hobby. They geared their soaps to be kind of low strength, so it wouldn't irritate people's skin as they enter the hobby and trying to figure out what they like. But to me, they're so light that they're almost imperceptible during the shave. So I may not use their soaps very much, but their post-shave products have some gusto and no problem with the scent strength with these guys. And also, I think they add a little bit of, acetylsalicylic acid. What is that, Tylenol? A little bit of menthol in here too. Hopefully not too much for me. But they have nice scent. And a little bit of other skin goodies, I think, not just alcohol. And a lot of the fragrances that they have chosen to go with are inspired by classic and popular fragrances as well, so that's kind of nice. I definitely like their Let's see, this one, tangerine, sequoia, and sage. Fortunately, the sage is not too strong. I'm not a big sage fan, so it's a supporting, earthy, grounding element with this one. And I think I like it. I think I like it nicely. Very minor stinging throughout the face. So this 15 use blade was kind to my skin with this razor working it. So great shave, nice and close, and face feels good. Love the scent of this soap as well. How much soap did I have left? Yep, I could probably do a pass worth of lather out of this, and definitely a touch up. So in a way, this might be the perfect amount of soap. And so going for 10 seconds, as long as I'm using the same Stirling soap in a row, might be a very economical way to go. And as you can see, the lathers were fine. They may have been a little translucent in some respects, but I got slick feels at the end of each pass with the rinses. I had excellent glide. The razor was just sliding everywhere, and so I wasn't skimping. So excellent. How much water did we use? Yep, I just stuck with the 2 teaspoons of water. 10 seconds of loading, 2 teaspoons of water. With the chiseled face, I was able to go, it was a different brush. It was a boar brush. So it's possible it would have dug up on the soap just a little bit more than this brush would. I was able to go to 7-second load, and it still gave me an extra pass with each shave of lather, and plenty of enjoyable lather during the shave. So 2 teaspoons, 10 seconds. Well, great shave, no irritation, happy on all counts. Soap, razor, blade, so 16 uses now on that guy, and he is delivering an excellent shave. Brush, I may have noticed just a little bit of relaxation with that brush, a little bit of opening up. I'm hoping that continues as I work it over the next several days. All right. Happy camper with today's shave. The aftershave product, tangerine, sequoia, and sage. I have no idea what sequoia is supposed to smell like. Now that I read that tangerine is in the scent, I feel like I can perceive that. But to me, it's that citrus type scent is, and a sweet citrus. I like it a lot. It's very well paired with the other elements in the scent profile of this guy. And so I don't know that I'd be able to pull that out if I didn't have the suggestion of it. The sage, I believe I can smell it just a little bit, and I love it as a supporting player. If it's dominant, no thank you. But right now, it's being used very skillfully to make a nice scent. This is one of those scents where I'm not really able to pick out too many of the individual elements to be able to say that there's a dominant note. Just a nice blend. I feel like it's masculine. It's not overly zesty. It's not overly pungent as some citrus notes can be, but it's not sticky sweet at all. It's got some of the herby nature to it, probably coming from the sage, that is giving it a mature, sophisticated type scent. It's not just, hey, this is orange, you know. I'm sure the sequoia is playing in there somewhere too. I wish I knew what it smelled like. But I really like the scent. It hits a nice little mid zone between between citrus and bright citrus and sweet citrus. It's a nice little balance with earthy as well, without getting too spicy, without bringing in clove or something weird like that. I really like it. I like it a lot. And the menthol doesn't seem to be too strong to bother me, because sometimes menthol can give me a burning sensation on my skin. All right, excellent. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. I am hoping that this shave had something good in it for you. You take care.